Good morning, Southern California. I'm John Baldwin with John Hart Real Estate, and today is October 12th, 2022. Want to touch on an article that came out this morning from Housing Wire talking about demand. Took Monday off from making a video for the holiday. Hopefully, you had a nice day off too. It was a banking holiday, so thought it was a good day to skip a video and move it to today, where I had this great article come out. So. Uh, let's get into it and we'll see what we're dealing with today. So, all right. So, mortgage demand plunges as costs reach new heights. 30-year fixed conforming rate reached 6.81% last week per Mortgage Banker Association survey. Now, I've actually seen it pop over 7 a couple times. Those are just, spikes, I would say. But right now, we're not dealing with inventory pressure on prices. We're dealing with what I'm calling payment pressure because people's cost of their mortgage has dramatically increased over the last 6 months. At the beginning of the year, we were at 3.5%. Now, a week ending October 7th, we're at 6.81%. So, again, we are way above what we were at the beginning of the year as far as mortgage interest rates. And this is all because, in my opinion, the Fed is way behind the 8 ball on this one. They are way behind the curve. If they had started raising the prime rate a year earlier, they could have done 25 basis point moves and slowly ramp this up over a year instead of doing 75 basis point moves, which is basically just such a dramatic spike that they are slamming the brakes on this market. They're trying to affect the demand side of the equation, and they are dramatically impacting demand because they screwed up. They're behind the 8 ball on inflation. They printed money like it was their job, and they didn't anticipate inflation. Like, this is what their job is, and it just makes me angry that they aren't ahead of this, and they're going to get us into what I'm calling a hard landing instead of the soft landing they were hoping for. If they had raised a year earlier, I think we would be in for the soft landing. I've seen articles this past week arguing that there's the potential for 2023 to have 175,000 jobs lost per month for the beginning of 2023. This is part of what the Fed is trying to do to shave off demand. They're trying to tamp down inflation by affecting the demand side of the equation. So let's get further into this article. Mortgage Composite Index for the week ending October 7th fell 2% from the prior week and 68.7% compared to the same period in 2021. Now let's look at it this way. That's a 2/3 demand drop because people's cost of money went through the roof. That's what it is. I mean, they basically slammed the brakes on, and 2/3 of buyers decided to leave the market. But this is an amazing opportunity for those people who were getting overbid for the last 2 years. You're not going to have to compete with 20 offers because 2/3 of those people are out of the market right now. This is an opportunity for you to get in. Now, my lenders at Golden Coast Finance, they're offering what's called a 2-1 buy down, where for the first 2 years, the 2 years, your rate is bought down. First year, you're 2 points down. The second year, you're 1 point down. And in the third year, you're at your full rate. The key is they qualify you on the full rate and payment, not on the teaser rate. So, but you get the benefit. Let's say we're at 6.8 today. So the first year, instead, you're at 4.8. And the second, you're at 5.8. And in the third year, you're at your full 6.8. This is a great way to kind of ease your way into it. But there are specifics about that program you need to know. You need to know that that money for the buy down has to come as a seller credit, not as something you are paying. So it needs to be factored in from the get-go. So give me a call, 213-973-3777, and I'll hook you up with my guy Mike at Golden Coast Finance, and we'll get you all squared away with that. The refinance index decreased. Yeah, obviously. And it was 86% lower than, the same week 1 year ago. Absolutely. Of course it's lower because anybody who could was refinancing when rates were at 2.5% and 3%. not when they're, at 6.8%. So this is just, straight logic here. The news that job growth and wage growth continued in September is positive for the housing market as higher income support housing demand. Yes, we need incomes to match inflation, and we're not there yet. We're kind of in the curve there. So, however, it was also pushed off the possibility of any near term pivot from the Federal Reserve on its plans for additional rate hikes. So, what they're saying is they have to keep raising rates. Yeah. The Fed has increased the federal funds rates by 300 basis points. That's 3 points. 300 basis points for this year to control surging inflation, resulting in a reset on the mortgage market. Okay. Another 125 basis points in hikes are still expected to come in 2022, with a Fed funds rate topping out well above 4%. So, I mean, I've seen a chart of the different times the Fed has started raising rates, and this is the one that has the most dramatic rate of increase because they're almost going straight up right now. Again, this is me calling them as being behind the eight ball for over a year. It's transitory. No, it wasn't transitory. Anybody who knows anything about economics was watching you print money like it was your job, and then you calling it out as transitory was insane. You should have been out ahead of this a year ago doing 25 basis point rate hikes instead of 75 basis point rate hikes, because you could have done a nice slow rate of increase instead of this bam and slamming the brakes on this market and causing 2/3 of buyers to pull back. As I said, we're dealing with payment pressure right now and a demand side of the equation because the supply side isn't increasing. So we still have tight inventories running about 3.5 months of supply. Until we get to that 6 or 7 months of supply, we won't have a balanced market. And until we get over 7 months of supply, we won't be at a buyer's market. So again, the Federal Reserve, they have to know what they're doing isn't actually accomplishing what their stated goal is. So, I mean, I don't know. They're insane. So, reflecting the tightening monetary policy, mortgage rates moved higher once again during the first week of the fourth quarter, with the 30-year conforming rate reaching 6.81, the highest level since 2006. Okay. The average contract interest rate for the 30-year fixed rate mortgage with jumbo balances greater than 647,200 increased to 6.25 last week from the prior week, and the average interest rates for 5/1 ARMs increased to 5.56 from 5.36. Okay, now we're definitely seeing a major increase right now of people going after the 5/1 ARMs, the 7/1 ARMs, and the 10/1 ARMs, because you're going to have, as you can see, a lower interest rate. And if what we're anticipating having lower rates at the end of 2023 potentially, or maybe 2024. And if we can get through the first 2 years and then refinance at a better rate in a fixed rate, an adjustable is not a bad thing, because at least you've got 5, 7, or 10 years at that lower rate, so you can time the market and watch when rates drop and then refinance into a fixed. So there are strategies. Again, you can do the 2/1 buy down, you can do the adjustable. There are ways to deal with the higher rates right now when we can get you into a house. So, yeah, FHA share of total application increased. Yes, this is definitely something we also see, is when rates are up, people will try to get, a lower down payment to deal with the higher monthly payment. So they'll go to an FHA loan from a different, more conventional loan, so that their down payment can be smaller. So, again, this is great information. There's a lot coming out right now. I just want everybody to give me a call. We'll talk about what's going on. We'll talk about your house and whether you're in your dream house or not. And then we'll create a strategy to either sell your current house and get you into your dream house, or if you're renting right now, we'll get a strategy to get you into your dream house by the end of the year. So give me a call, 213-973-3777, and let's get your house sold.